Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
The player featured in this video is Brian Burns. He is represented by a 2020 Panini Playbook, signatures custom slabbed by Stats Grading. When you think of modern NFL pass rushers, you think of speed. You think of bend. You think of a guy who can win in a heartbeat. And Brian Burns? He's built for exactly that. Today, we're breaking down the rise of Spider-Man himself, how Brian Burns went from a Florida State standout to a Panthers star, to a New York Giants game wrecker with one of the biggest seasons any Giants defender has had in years. Brian Burns isn't the biggest edge rusher, but he's a nightmare because of how he wins. Explosive first step, long arms, and that ability to dip under tackles like he's slipping through a crack in the wall. It's the kind of pass rush style that turns almost sacks into drive killers. Before the NFL ever saw him, Burns was putting up big production at Florida State, finishing his college career with 24 sacks and 39.5 tackles for loss. And he wasn't just racking up numbers. He was flashing that elite edge trait, closing speed, the kind where a quarterback thinks he has time, and then suddenly doesn't. In 2019, the Carolina Panthers used the 16th overall pick on Burns, betting that his athletic profile would translate immediately. And it didn't take long. As a rookie, Burns showed he belonged, logging 7.5 sacks and even taking a fumble back for a touchdown. But the real story? His consistency. By 2021 and 2022, Burns wasn't the young guy with potential anymore. He was a Pro Bowler and one of the faces of Carolina's defense. And in 2022, he hit a career-best 12.5 sacks, proving he could finish at a top-tier level. Then came the moment that changed everything. March 2024. The Giants traded for Brian Burns, sending Carolina major draft capital, including a 2024 second-round pick and a 2025 fifth-rounder. New York didn't bring him in to help out. They brought him in to lead the rush, and that commitment showed up in the contract, a 5-year, $141 million deal. In 2024, Burns started all 17 games and immediately made the pass rush better, posting 8.5 sacks, tackles for loss, and consistent pressure that doesn't always show up in highlight packages, but absolutely shows up on film. And then 2025 happened. Brian Burns put together a career year, 16.5 sacks, and AP second-team All-Pro honors, one of the best defensive seasons in recent Giants history. That sack total also tied him for fourth most in a single season by a Giants defender. What makes Burns different? Some rushers win with power, some win with counters. Burns wins with tempo. He threatens the edge so fast that tackles overset, and then he can counter inside. Even when he doesn't get home, he forces quick throws, broken timing, and bad decisions. And that's what elite pass rush really is, not just sacks, but chaos. So whether you remember him as the Panthers' young star or the Giants' headline pass rusher, Brian Burns has built a career on one thing: quarterbacks don't get comfortable when he's on the field. Did you know Brian Burns' older brother is Stanley McClover, a former NFL defensive end, meaning the pass rush talent literally runs in the family? If you enjoyed this deep dive Brian Burns story, drop a like, subscribe, and comment the next player you want covered.